What's going on, everybody? Shane here with KNAC, and today I'm joined by Marco, the guitarist of XANDRIA. How you doing, my friend?
Hi, I'm great, thanks. And you?
I'm doing okay. I'm in Los Angeles, and it's pretty hot today, so I'm just trying to stay cool.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
We're talking about the new album Eclipse, which is coming out August 7th, and so far, we have some singles out, and it's sounding really good. I just have to say, especially with Aubrey stepping in and doing after the last album, how do you think she is going forward onto this new album? Did anything change vocally for her or anything?
Yeah, you feel a change, right? Because we as well felt that something was different than on the album before. I mean, she basically is having this great diversity again, like she sings rock vocals, pop vocals, like soft, beautiful, and loud, powerful. She sings growls, which is absolutely amazing, because I always was into this kind of more extreme metal, um, and this gives me the chance to just put this element in Xandria, which is really great. And then she can do these operatic vocals on the other side when the song demands it, when this sounds quite epic here, so this could just be the cherry on the top for that one. And she's still doing that, like she already did on the last album. In each of them, she was even putting a level up somehow. I cannot really describe it, but it we were feeling it when we were recording. It felt very focused, everything. Like we knew, and she knew exactly what to do. And now we exactly knew how to play stuff, that was just so on point and so intense and strong, like her delivery in the studio. That was really amazing. I think you can hear that really.
Absolutely. It seemed more powerful. It seemed more direct. I mean, The Wonder Still Waiting was great, but this album, I think you've even talked about it. The lyrics, they're more almost apocalyptic, dealing with civilization, society, and stuff like that. How do you think that impacted going in? Well, what's going on in the world right now, going into this album when you were writing it?
I just couldn't help writing about that kind of stuff because it was all there in my head, in the last few years, especially since the pandemic. You really have the feeling something went off road with mankind. I don't know. It's really weird. All the good things that mankind seem to have learned over the last centuries. Back then, there were slaves. Only a few people could vote, if ever. There was a king. People were just killed without a due process or anything. These kind, we tend to forget that these days. There were for centuries and millennia, mankind was really living in quite some dark times. We live quite protected lives nowadays, especially in our Western hemisphere. And but in the last few years, I have the feeling people don't appreciate that anymore. They want something else, or at least a lot of them. And I find that worrying because this other thing that we had hundreds of years before, it was not great. Really not. You can romanticize it, but you know, write some nice fantasy stories. I mean, watch Game of Thrones. You want that shit nowadays? No, you
No,
don't. Really not.
absolutely not. I mean, you nailed it
It's
right
great to
there.
watch, but
Yeah,
you don't want
E-
that in the real world.
exactly. I think you nailed it, my friend. We did live in dark times, and it seems like we've kind of lost our way and we don't appreciate things as much because we live in a society where everything is at our fingertips now, constant
Yeah,
entertainment and gratification, and we just don't appreciate it anymore. So it seems like
yeah,
almost every step forward, we kind of take a step back nowadays.
yeah. And
And
people are so angry, so
oh,
angry and not talking to each other and hating other people so much. And you really wonder where that comes from. Like, I mean, we are all not that different. And I think most people have the same kind of dreams. They just want to be happy in their lives. I think it's just important to step back and say like, okay, I just let people live their lives the way they want. They should have the freedom to do that, and they let me have that freedom too. We respect each other. We have empathy. I see like, okay, you want to do that kind of thing, not my thing, but hey, if you feel great with doing that, that's totally fine. It's a bit this. I miss this nowadays. This is really strange. And the thing is that this kind of diversion in society gets a lot abused by people who wanna
I was
get
just about to say that hate is used to
yeah,
control us and to turn us against
they
each
just use
other.
to control us. Exactly. To control us, to get to power, to become even more wealthy. I think a lot of people who are on this path feeling attacked by other parts of society, you know, they should rather look up and see this is where it comes from actually. That should make me angry. Not from these other people that goes through the same struggles that I do. These are not the people I should be angry about. It's just those people, they want to distract me from looking at them. Don't look up.
You just nailed it again. It's not the left versus the right, it's the up versus down. And we don't choose to look up because we're so distracted with one another and seeing our own struggles. We just, they just control us. We could go on and on about that. This album, it just seemed very cinematic. And I know you even worked with some composers. You had the what is it, the Sophia Session Orchestra on this album? How was that?
Yeah, it was the choir. They have a really great choir. You can do great stuff with samples nowadays. They sound great, but a real choir is still a different thing. When they sing your lyrics, and you can, I think in a song that uses real choir, you can always hear that this is real choir. Maybe if it's samples, you cannot really figure if it's samples or not, but if it's real, you hear it. This is something organic and making it wider and bigger. And this is something that was really important to us. Somehow get to have that epic feeling. Then you need it. We were already working with those guys 4 years ago for the last album, and it always goes like I'm sending them demos, I'm sending them lyrics, some guide tracks so they know how to sing it. Ombo sings those, so there's some secret vocal tracks actually where she sang, but it's not on the album because the choir is not singing it.
Ah.
But they get that stuff, so they know exactly how to do their sheet music, because they are just amazing. They don't rehearse that. They just go into that studio, and I see that. I'm there. I'm doing like a Zoom call with them, like we do right now, and I get a really good audio stream, so I can hear very well what they are singing, so I can give directions. Like if I didn't like the last take, then I say, "Oh, please, can you do the end a little bit more powerful, or you need to get softer here." This kind of thing. I can say that, and they can immediately change that. And they come into this room, and they just sing those parts from the sheet, without rehearsing it. And that is every time I see that, it's just amazing to see that kind of musicianship.
Like you said, that kind of musicianship cannot be replaced by just samples, or even in the world of AI now. People are trying to look for all sorts of shortcuts. But that human connection to music in general, I feel like there's only the two greatest things humanity's ever made was art and pretty much food, because it can transcend all languages and all cultures. So it's amazing that you can still see that in this choir and everything, as some people would probably just do a sample instead. Speaking of epicness, the new videos that just came out, I know North Star just came out yesterday, great video. How was it going about the ideas and direction for these videos? Because I know, like, the Shannon's home, you got a clock tower there, you're going through like a mythical forest. These are just epic videos. Did you have ideas going into each of them, or how hard was it trying to come up with those?
Yeah, we were working very closely with the director Mirko Witzki. He's also a German, and he just opened a new studio for his production company for his videos. And the studio has a lot of different rooms, and they all look like a little fantasy world.
That's awesome.
You know, this clock tower that you see there, or this little enchanted forest. These are actually two corners in the same room in the studio. Of course, I mean you can see that it's not an actual forest, but somehow
It feels like it though.
yeah. It let's say it has this magical atmosphere because it feels a little bit like an 80s fantasy movie, you know, like something like The Dark Crystal,
Yep.
something like that.
Never
It
ending
has this kind of
story.
vibe. Yes, yeah, never-ending story. It's this kind of practical studio design, not CGI landscapes, you know. And
Mhm. Practical is always better.
I find it very exciting what you can do with CGI. It just doesn't, when you experience it yourself for the first time, it's amazing. You know, like on the last album, or in the past, we had a few videos where we have been put in an artificial environment with CGI. When you do that for the first time, it's amazing. Oh, we look like in this science fiction video, or in that, I don't know, or in Game of Thrones or something. You know, it's very fascinating, but you need to be careful with that it doesn't really take away too much from what you're actually doing, because that you are a band, that you want to show people how you play the song. And this time we just felt like let's just do something a bit more practical and organic for that. And also then the next we will have one more video coming out, by the way, that will be the title song.
Nice.
This will be also really nice, that video. There we will also doing something like coal mine, really exciting.
That's awesome.
Where there will be a lot of fire, you know, and
Hell
ashes
yeah.
and yeah.
That's always fun. Fire and practical
Yeah,
effects are always great too. But
yeah.
I love music videos. I'm a fan of music videos. When you make a music video, I mean, obviously people listen to a song, they interpret it how they want to. But when you watch the video, was there anything particular about these songs that you wanted fans to see? Like, I know Shannon's home. I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, are you guys going to Shannon's home? Is she going home or are you stealing her home? What's going on?
Yeah, I see. I even remember when I first time was presenting the title of that song to Omp when she had to sing it, and she was like, "Who's Shannon?"
Is it the guy with the flute? Is that Shannon?
No, Shannon is a river in Ireland.
Ah,
Yeah,
see? Look at you learn. We're learning here.
yeah. I took it as a metaphor for life.
Ah,
It's spring, you know, where it's small and clear and innocent, you know, and then the further it went, it goes through the landscape. It gets shaped by the landscape. It shapes the landscape, like we shape where with our way of going through life. We are shaping the life of others, you know, and they shape us. And sometimes there's some debris in the stream, you know, from the battles, from the bad moments, and that just gets streamed along with us down the river of our life. And then in the end, we just take it all into the ocean when we go back to the source, so to say. It's not meant to be too spiritual, but I see it, you know, like the river flowing back to the ocean, like when our life is over. What I mean by that is more like that everything we were building up in our life, the things that we were taking with us, the things that we have done, they flow into the big sea of mankind as things we give back to it, and that's maybe stays with mankind if we did something of significance, and it can be something small, like we just helped someone in a situation in life, and that can change a lot for quite a few different people, and that we don't even know. Already, we had quite a significance in this world by just doing these little things. It's such a great metaphor for life, and in the video, it's a bit difficult to put all of that in a video, you know.
absolutely.
I was just telling that story to the guy who shoots the videos, and he was like, "Okay, I have that thing in my studio, and with that forest, and we just built a little river there. They did that in the night before we shot the video. At first, it was leaking, so the whole room was underwater, stuff like that. But in the end, they made it, and we could shoot the video, and then it looks pretty enchanting. I think it just captures some pictures of that song, that you might have in mind. It cannot really capture the whole story. It's the same with the other singles that we did, like Colors and North Star. It's just little moment that hints in what's in the lyrics. You can hardly tell the whole story. So we just try to make them beautiful with some nice pictures from the lyrics that fits the mood of the song, and some little moments that make people think, okay, what's that about? And then you can read the lyrics and actually see.
Now it makes sense to me. I mean, the clock in the background, what you do with your life and your time, and then the
Yeah,
river flowing, it all makes sense. Again, I love music videos because sometimes it just helps expand upon it. Where I was thinking too practical, I'm like, okay, that's probably Shannon with the flute. They want to go to his home, you know. But no, I absolutely love the way you thought about it and the metaphor behind that. But now I want to get into something a lot cooler. Your guitar work on this album, it had a lot of, classic. Like I got a lot of classic so far with the first few singles, like heavy metal riffs from the 80s, and then
mm,
compared with like some kind of lower tune stuff and with some spacey Pink Floyd stuff, I guess. I don't know. How did you go about when you wanted to write songs for this, at least the guitar parts?
yeah, there's a lot going on. You're right. It's great that you noticed that because when Xandria started, the first few albums, there was almost nothing going on the guitars. Of course, we had some solos, but there was not much interesting coming from the guitar work. And this is something that is really important to us nowadays. And so also just naturally just comes up when I have a song idea and I already feel what the guitar needs to play for that. And sometimes it's something, okay, I want that to be like Judas Priest in the 80s, There's some songs I'm quite more often inspired by a band like Judas Priest than people think, because everyone just thinks we are inspired by bigger bands in our own genre, but which sometimes is the case, of course, but most of the times it's just from all the metal bands I love. And even non-metal bands like Pink Floyd, you just mentioned it. There's this one song, I think you mean the guitar solo on The Last Generation, quite Pink Floydish, yeah. I mean David Gilmour is my favorite guitar player.
Oh, see,
And
that's I could tell now.
and his solo on Comfortably Numb is, in my opinion, the best guitar solo ever, but of course it's an opinion.
It's great that you can incorporate everything around you. I mean, that's what a musician does. You take,
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, you take everything.
Yeah. This is something I've been thinking about when I've been thrown that that term symphonic metal at me, because I started to think, what does it mean actually? Because if you just look at the guitar work, you just strip the orchestra away. You just look at the guitars and what the band plays. We do everything in metal that you can think of almost. There's even some melodic death metal riffs on the new album. There's power metal riffs, this 80s Judas Priest style riffs. There's a gent riff in Colors. This is something that we've never done before.
Yeah.
Like usually our low tunes are low A, which is like what many of the more, I just want to say modern metal bands, but it's something that started already back then in the 90s with, for me, with bands like Hypocrisy or, because I was not that much into the new metal at the time. It was Korn did the low tunes in the 90s. I know that. I was just not listening to it, but I knew about it. I was listening to death metal.
Like Bolt Thrower, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, both were exactly. Yeah, they had these low tune guitars already back in the 90s. It's just really fun for me to grab from every kind of metal that I love, and I love a lot. I love, um, as you already have noticed with the names I've been dropping, a lot of different bands, and I just love to put it in my own songs. I wouldn't want to do the same thing all the time again and again. So it's really great to put maybe even in the same song, put something which is like these super low tuned guitars, and then you put a classic 80s riff in there. And I find that exciting. And what I love to do is to give it that movie-like dimension with the film score elements. So this is where the orchestra is coming from. I'm not much influenced by classical music. The influence comes from film scores.
I
And
was
that's
gonna
also,
say it brings an
yeah,
epicness to the music, but I was getting a
yeah,
sense of like a lot of sci-fi and fantasy orchestral stuff,
yes,
rather than
yeah,
classical.
definitely. Definitely. It's more film score music. You think of those movies. I love Hans Zimmer and Danny Elfman. Yeah, Howard Shore, of course.
Yeah.
Great soundtracks. And John Williams.
Oh, absolutely.
He's not mentioned too often actually when because he's not, I think he's not one of the more modern ones because he's doing it very old school. It's like only orchestra what he's doing. But I love that because he's very, very deep in what he's doing. Like there's a lot of things going on in his music that is very sophisticated. And I only realized it when I was diving in a little bit more and trying to analyze what's happening there. I often have these inspirations from movies that I just watched. And it's often that I have an idea for a song when I just watched a movie, something immediately like some pictures that could be in a movie when I have a melody. So I bring these worlds together. It somehow always happens. So I love metal, I love movies, and I put these things together, like big stories, big epic music, and yeah, I enjoy that a lot. That's also why it sounds so diverse what we are doing, because I love so many different kinds of metal, and also in film scores you find so many different elements like Celtic music. You find some Oriental colors in there. So you find some, of course, the orchestral element is very predominant. That's of course always something that brings that big epicness.
Like you just were talking about symphonic metal. It gets thrown around a lot. You embrace it, you don't embrace it. How do you feel? I always like talking to bands about this. How do you feel when other people give you that label and you never gave yourself that label? Do you feel like it limits you sometimes?
It depends a little bit on what people think symphonic metal is. For example, when of course when you check what fans are saying when you put a new video out and people are talking about the song, and then some say this is not symphonic metal anymore. And I'm wondering, okay, this is interesting because there's huge orchestra in there, there's big choirs in there, there's metal in there. It's
Just say you're a
so
metal band. You're like, we just do metal.
what is not symphonic metal for you in that? And it turns out this is someone who only likes it when the vocals have the classical technique, the operatic voice. So for this person, this is what defines it. But and then there are other people who have other things that they find important that belongs to it. But there's not really a good definition for what it is. Because when you look at it, it's actually more a term for how you arrange a song than it is a genre. It's actually not a genre. Symphonic metal is not a genre. It's just saying that you add a symphonic element to your metal. That's it. But it's not really saying what kind of style you play. That is
Yeah.
not saying. Because I play power metal, death metal, you know, classic metal, some Pink Floyd, all these different things. You find it all in Xandria. So how would you define that style? So it's easy to just say it's symphonic metal because we put orchestra on it. But it gets difficult when people know too well what it means and they connect it too much with certain things they want to see in it and that cannot be in it, or because it's not really a definition of a style, I think.
You can't please everybody. Everybody's got their own definitions and tastes. At the end of the day, you just say, I play in a metal band. There you go. What
Yeah,
else do you want from me?
yeah. That's
That
actually what I say when someone asks me what I do. I play in a metal band. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's it.
easier. Xandria has you guys do have a strong connection out here in North America with past tours like when you went on tour like Camelot, Battle Beast, Windrose, bands like that. Is there any prospects of a new North American tour hopefully soon?
Definitely, of course. Yeah, we can't wait to come back. Yeah, we did not publish dates yet, but of course, internally we are making plans. Two different things. We might do a headline tour, but we might come with a different with another band first again. It depends a little bit how it turns out. We will see, but we will definitely be back, and I think it will be next year, maybe first half next year. I'm not sure, but this is what we're planning.
What do you feel the state of touring is in general for any band, even in Europe? How do you feel with just, venues taking merch cuts? Everything's just gotten more expensive. Is it
Yeah,
worth more just doing the festivals and these shorter run tours? Or, I mean, it's hard all around.
it's okay. I mean, it's not like we really need or want to make like the big money on a tour or something. We just want it to be great for everyone. So we rather make it a bit bigger than having some big money left in the end, you know. We a bit with bigger, I mean like a bigger experience for the audience, for ourselves, that we all enjoy it, that we have some nice stuff on stage, you know. We can make a great show that everyone enjoys. That works for us. That's okay. But I really get what you mean. There's a lot of bands touring nowadays. I think it's more than it used to be like 20 years ago. So there's a lot of competition. It's not that easy to book a full tour. Our European tour is quite long, like almost 5 weeks. So that's actually pretty cool. So looking forward to it. But yeah, certain things like when you say merge cut, yeah, you're definitely touching a sore point there, you know, because
Yeah.
because sometimes you can get a little bit mad. It's like, why do you want money from that? It's like I ask you for a cut of the beer you are selling on the evening, you know? That should actually be it. Like you get 10% of my merch, I get 10% of your beer.
Everybody wins.
It's just fair. Or we just skip that whole thing.
Exactly. Exactly. It just seems frustrating and annoying. You have an upcoming European tour with dates around Europe and the UK in September, October. Any elements you're going to bring to that live show? Any
Mm.
new visuals or anything cool that fans can expect?
Yeah, we are trying to make it bigger than any Xandria show we have done in the past. We have not finished the whole planning around it. But yeah, we want to make some visuals, you know, that the people see the story of the songs, can dive into the atmosphere, the mood of the songs a bit more. The music is so, you know, like storytelling and film score like and sounds big and also needs to look like that, I think. It's not that easy for a band, especially when you're not big as Metallica, you know. It's not that easy to put up to bring all of the fancy stuff, but we will try to bring a bit of it.
No, that's awesome. The band's been around, what, 23 years now? Going on 23, 24-ish?
If you're waiting for a number from me, I also would need to calculate. It's also difficult because when was actually the start of the band? Never really know when that was because the beginnings of Xandria were a little blurry, you know. It's when that actually became that what you would call the band that people got to know at some point. But it's definitely more than 20 years. It's 25 maybe,
See, there you go.
at least, could be even more.
You guys do have a long history, and I feel like this is the most solid lineup you've had. I feel like it's just very powerful, it's very structured, it's very directed. How do you feel about everybody in the band right now?
Of course, it makes a difference if you toured already and you we had like I think almost 300 shows together in the meantime since we started working together for the first time on the album The One Is Still Waiting 4 years ago. So there was a lot happening in the meantime. We were on the road in different parts of the world. We've gone through we've gone through different things. We've gone through hard stuff, we've gone through joyful stuff, and made us stick together and become friends even. And that's just a great feeling. And of course, it makes it easier when you start working on a new album and everyone knows just what to do and everyone feels comfortable with what we are doing together and with their place. That's really important. That's something that was not there in the past. So I'm really happy with, and everyone in the band, with how we are together right now, how it feels. It's very, very harmonic, you know. It's something that I always longed for. And actually, I finally found it with this new band. That's really great.
You
And
know,
everyone is really happy. Yeah.
it's like a rebirth, a new chapter for Xandria, and I'm so happy. Me as a fan and everybody else is getting to enjoy this new era of Xandria, especially with Eclipse coming out on August 7th. And I just want to leave off with one last question before we wrap all of this up. What was your favorite movie that inspired you this year?
There's not an inspiration coming from that yet, but Obsession was leaving a
There you
pretty
go.
pretty harsh mark. on,
Just
it's
wanted to ask something
I think
fun.
everyone is saying that at the moment, right?
It's a,
Everyone.
I
And
dug it. I liked it. It's a great movie.
it's yeah, and it shows you that you with actually simple things, you don't need to make a big blockbuster Marvel movie and just summon 1,000 Avengers in one movie. And I mean, to be honest, it bored me. And then comes a movie like Obsession and shows you how you can be touched and then completely like on your sofa like this, like poof,
Well,
with a small budget, I think, and with very simple methods of film. There's no CGI going on, I think. It's just a few locations and for sure not a big budget, and it's such an impressive film.
I can say my new obsession will be Eclipse when it comes out August 7th on Napalm Records. So, Marco, I want to thank you for joining me, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. See you at the next show, everybody. Take care.
Yeah, see you. Thank you for your support and see you when we come on tour.